Okay, next common position underneath is beating inside wrist. Okay, and to me, inside wrist is one of those situations where maybe some guys are afraid to be there, or they don't like giving up an inside wrist. But as you work through some of these drills and get better at it, you should understand that it becomes an advantage for you if a guy grabs your wrist. Okay, and so a couple basics to talk about before we get into escaping from there. Number one, if I'm over here and he's got my wrist here, there's inside wrist. If you notice right now, my elbow is pointing out. That is not a good thing. Okay, here, let's change the spots here. You go down. Okay, so if I'm on top right here and I get to this guy's wrist and his elbow is out, that means I'm going to be able to put pressure on his shoulder. I start rotating it out. I start driving this way. There's pressure up on his shoulder right there. He doesn't want pressure on his shoulder, so he's got to bring his elbow in. Okay, so I get to this thing and he brings his elbow in right there. Now, as I drive forward, there's no pressure right there. Yeah, I have a hold of his wrist, but I'm not doing anything with that. That's not a big deal. Okay, so he's got that elbow tucked in. Hard for me to get pressure on his shoulder, but as soon as his elbow gets pointed out and I start driving, whether I dig it out, try to put it on his back, or if I just use this pressure right here, there's a lot of weight up on that shoulder. Okay, so that's the first thing. Next part of this is similar action as when we were beating that tight waist before. Is I'm here, okay, my elbow comes in, I'm tucked in, I'm just bringing that free leg up again, okay, and I'm going to take that same big step as I did before. Take this big step here. Okay, now he's still on my wrist, but again, I don't have it tucked in this way. My hand's coming out, and when I push up, I'm pushing off that. Okay, so as you can see, that's what clears the wrist. I push, that straightens my arm out, that gets him off the wrist, hip switch again to this side. Okay, again, same place, right? Pushing back. Okay, so we're here, he's on a wrist on this side. I don't feel like there's a lot of pressure. I can do this if he has a tight waist too, if it's not a real strong tight waist. Pop here, other side. Okay, switching hips, it's got to be quick right there. Okay, that's one easy option.